So today we're going to graph a quadratic from factored form, which means it'll look like this: a number in the front, a parenthesis with some sort of number in it, and a second parenthesis with another number in it. I just called them R and V. These little arrows here you'll want to draw on just to tell you that this sign belongs to the R, this line belongs to the V, and your parentheses may have both pluses, both minuses, or it doesn't matter, okay? What matters is we want to know what are A, R, and V, because that's going to help us find the y-intercept. It's going to help us find the x-intercepts, the axis of symmetry, and finally, our vertex. Now, just to remember, that negative sign there, why don't we circle them and draw a little arrow, really means we want to take the opposite of those values. Opposite. All right, so let's go down and try it on this one down here. A is the number out in front. Well, I don't see any A. That means it's a 1. So draw a 1 right here. R is this number, -6. V is this number, +4. Now, in order to do the problem, we're going to eventually need the opposite of R, which would be +6, and the opposite of V, which would be -4. Now, axis of symmetry says to take our opposite of R and add it to the opposite of V, and then divide that sum by 2, which means in our calculator, press enter. We'll write that here. Before you divide by 2. Okay, so let's try it. The axis of symmetry, take the opposite of R, which is 6, add it to the opposite of V, which is -4, and then divide by 2. So in my calculator, if you feel that you're just having too much of a time, you want to take 6 plus -4, press enter, divide by 2, and you get 1. X equals 1. So now let's figure out our 4 features. Y-intercept is 0, and then it says multiply your A, your R, and your V. You notice how I put them all in a row? Those are what we want to multiply. Most of you can do it, but just in case you are struggling, 1 times -6 times 4 equals -24. To find the zeros, the x-intercepts, we call these zeros, we just want to do the opposite of R with a 0 and the opposite of V with a 0. Well, we've got those here on our second line. So our x-intercepts are 6, 0, and -4, 0. Our axis of symmetry we already have right here. Now our vertex we need to find in the table. We need to put 1 in and find out what value you get. So my vertex is going to be 1 question mark. Well, I need to type in y equals my original equation. So clear that, parenthesis x minus 6, parenthesis x plus 4. I want to go to my table and look up x equals 1. And -4, there it is. My vertex is 1, -25. Now, in order to graph this, we can only graph the things that'll fit on here. Let's see. -0, -24 is going to be way off the bottom. So is my vertex. So let me put 6, 0 here. 1, 2. Excuse me. -4, 0. And then my axis of symmetry is on my 1 line right here. So here's my 1. And again, if you want to highlight it, you may. That's x equals 1. The nice thing about putting this in your calculator is you can press graph and see what it looks like. See how the U goes off the screen but finishes down below and then comes back up? That's what we're going to do here too. We know that it comes down and then somewhere it turns around and comes back up. And we did it. We have the 4 features and we've graphed it. Now, if you get this and want to just go on and do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 by yourself, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to go on and do number 1 so that if you need another example, you can watch. Make sure you put your name up here. The best thing I think you should do is to imitate, like I did down here. Do A equals, R equals, V equals, opposite of R, opposite of V. A is 1, R is -4, V is 2. So the opposite of -4 is +4. The opposite of 2 is -2. So the 4 features that I need are my y-intercept. I think I'm just going to do it right here. The y-intercept is going to be 0, comma, and multiply all these together on the first row. 1 times -4 is -4. -4 times 2 is -8. My x-intercepts are exactly these two numbers, 4, 0, and -2, 0. My axis of symmetry I need to figure out. According to this, I need to take my opposite of R and add it to my opposite of V. Take that answer and divide by 2. So x equals 4 plus -2, divide by 2. 4 plus -2 is regular 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, so then that's interesting that it's the same as the other one. That's just a coincidence. But now to get the vertex, we want to look at that in the table. So I need to come back here, clear that, x minus 4, and then x plus 2. And I want to go to my table and find when x equals 1, and there it is, -9. Okay. So to graph these 4 things right here, y-intercept is down here at -8. X-intercept is at 4 and -2. The axis of symmetry is at 1, so I'm going to go like this. X equals 1. And then at -9, I know that would be just about right here, wouldn't it? That's my vertex. So I can make a beautiful U shape. And I think I'll look at the picture just one more time. There we go. So yeah, that looks about right. Your job for the remainder of class is to complete 2 and graph it. And I strongly suggest you look at the picture of the graph on your graphing calculator. Then just find the 4 key features without graphing and tell me, how do you feel about how you did? Then, of course, when you're done, you're going to do what we did yesterday, which is cut along this dotted line. And I did go over my dotted line a smidgen, so I'll just go a little bit to the right of it. And open up your notebook. I was on page 32. There it is. There's yesterday's work. So I'm going to turn the page, and I'm going to take this factored form right here and turn this page in to your substitute. Please make sure you've written that down, okay? I will be here on block days. Thanks for understanding about me needing to stay home and get well, and I hope you have a lovely day.